Hey everyone, it's been kind of crazy recently. I've been meaning to get this video out for a long time, but before I have surgery, I want to get this out for the community. And this is my 2007 3-Power Stroke, my personal truck. And we've used it as a service vehicle. We use it as a work truck. It tows the kids around. It sees a lot of abuse in a lot of different ways. And it has been an absolutely phenomenal setup. And I'm going to kind of break that down, and hopefully this helps some of you guys out. So the heart of this truck is based around three things. The first is the KC Gen 3 Stage 1. Been really happy with it. You can see it's sitting back there with the turbo blanket on it. It has an adrenaline high pressure oil pump, once again from Diesel Side, and that's been phenomenal as well. And then finally, it is centered around a set of UDP 175/30 injectors. And I was really sold on the 160s. And I think for most people that would use the truck as I do, 160s are probably absolutely one of the best injectors you can get. However, I did go with the 175/30s just in case I wanted a little bit more, and knowing that I wasn't afraid to send revised tunes and do data logging and things like that. I think purely on a work truck, like a rollback or a tow truck or a hot shot, the 160s are the way to go in my opinion. But since this is kind of a mix between them, I think the 175/30s work really well, and I've been very happy with them. With the Jelly tunes, I'm hoping to try A&A's tunes as well. A couple other things we've got going on is you'll notice that we do not have any of our relays in the valley. The IAT has been deleted along with the pedestal. Down below for the flapper that's in the exhaust, we're running a 4-inch turbo back, kind of, but we go into a 3.5 6.4 back half. So it's a 4-inch from the downpipe all the way back to near the rear axle, where we neck down to a 3.5 with the 6.4 resonator and the 6.4 twin tailpipe back there. I did that to kind of minimize some of the noise. I also have a 4-inch muffler on it as well before that resonator, and the truck is actually probably a little quieter than stock. I'm still running the stock airbox, considering swapping that out to an S&B in the future. Of course, we have the riff-raff fuel filter cover there on it for the cap, and the White Rogers relay. Now, it just so happens there are 2 holes already there that mount the White Roger almost perfectly. And if you put speed nuts there, it's a very easy install. You don't even have to drill it. And I've been really happy with that relay. It gets it away from the heat, and you can see it's about double the size of the factory relay. Moving on, we've got the riff-raff boost fuller. Not sure if that's really needed with the UDP tunes, but I run it anyway. I had it before I had the UDPs when I was getting, before I was running the jellybuilt tunes. With the can tunes, I was getting an overboost code and would cause the truck to defuel for a couple seconds. That obviously fixed it. I've just left it in place because the truck runs really well. Arguably, you know, I've got the typical cylinder head crossover there for the high pressure oil. I know some people argue with those. I've never had a problem with that one, and it's been on there. So we'll leave it until it starts to leak, and then we'll cap it off. So for our gauges, we use 2 different sources. We have an Edge CTS3, which I use to monitor trans temp, oil temp, IPR, IPC, all the stuff the PCM cannot see. And then I use the Glow Shift triple gauge, which was like $200. It's a phenomenal bang for your buck kind of thing for fuel pressure, true boost, because the map can't see anything over 23 pounds, and of course EGT. And with my economy and daily tunes, it is very rare that this truck even gets over 1100 degrees on the EGT, and that's like accelerating pretty hard through traffic. The injectors run very clean. Once again, if you're really going to be working these trucks hard, I would just go with 160s, especially if you're in like a 450 or 550. But for a little 250, the 175/30s I've been really happy with. And besides that, we have Diesel Site replacement high pressure lines down there. And going down further from that, we have the CNC fabrication 4-line feed. Now, I opted to keep the factory fuel bowl, and I'm glad I did. I really like the regulated return that is on the factory fuel bowl, and I like being able to feed both ends of the cylinder heads with the 4-line feed from CNC Fab. That was a really good kit. Went on really well, and it's just a super clean. I mean, it looks almost factory down there. And if you notice, it really does clean up the valley a whole lot. We've obviously gotten rid of a couple of the extra wires that we no longer needed because of that. And we do have plenty of room to get in there and service our IPR or whatever else we need to. Now, one thing that I will note is from Casey and the instructions I have is that there's no need to run the boost reference for the Casey wastegate that is already preset to around 32 to 35 PSI. This one for me, it'll make about 34, 35 on the bigger tunes, and even on the economy tune, it'll make about 32 pounds of boost. And when I say the bigger tunes for me is like a 80 horsepower deli driver tune. I don't run anything bigger than that. But because of that, I've gotten rid of the provision for the boost line reference and obviously that solenoid there, which once again does a whole lot to cleaning things up. So moving around, the truck is very dirty and I'm getting ready to have surgery. This is a 373 truck. We have the worn locking hubs that we swapped out. We've got a couple dents on this side, 235/85 R16s, which we may go to a 265/75 soon when these wear out. On the inside, we have our 6-7 seats here. This was a 6-7 seat conversion we did. Really happy with it because we have a big family and we need to be able to put 6 people in here. Well, the back it's going to be hard to see because we've got the car seats right now, but we also have one of the hardest projects, believe it or not, was that. My wife is very big into safety, so we have the top tether points behind all 3 of these seats. You can see the black over there. This was out of a 6.4 truck, and we actually had to cut out a section of the back firewall. We pulled that entire assembly off. We drilled out all the pop rivets, and then we took the saw and had to cut out a little bit larger section around it. And that is bolted in and welded to the back firewall. So it is a very solid mount, but yes, it is a true 6 shoulder belt truck, as the front shoulder belt is right here whenever you pop up the center. And the truck is a mess right now because once again, I'm getting ready to have surgery and it is what it is. You're seeing it in its rawest form. Hydro mount, obviously our CTS3, and right down there is our 3-gauge glow shift. And it was going to be centered, but because of where the shifter sits and because I'm freakishly tall, we offset it so I can see it a little bit better. And yes, I can make out the numbers there as much as I need to because I don't run hot tunes. And we have no need to really sit there and monitor it constantly. Just pulling a big trailer up a hill, we'll kind of glance down at it just to make sure it's good. On the back here, of course, gooseneck with the weld-on D-rings from Lowe's. We have 6.4 backlights. Nothing super special back here. The 6.4 tailgate with the step. So I picked up the tailgate and tail lights for like $100. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than the one that was on it. And we have the 6.7 style mirrors. So I know I haven't really ever showed off this truck. However, we still have to wire up both the defrost, the running light, and the turn light in that. That's a future project that's coming. Anyway, guys, I hope this kind of gives a good rundown. I've been meaning to get to it for a long time. There's still much more to be done, but it's getting there slowly. If you guys have any recommendations or comments, please let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, be safe. Take care of your neighbors. Thank you for watching this, for sticking with me for almost 10 minutes of this. Really happy with this truck. It's been kind of my pride and joy to bring this truck back from whenever it wouldn't pull a hill in 3rd gear by itself to where now it can pull, 6,000 pounds in 4th gear with no problem going up the same hills. It's been a venture. Lots of other stuff have been done to this, such as replacing the valve cover harnesses, IPR, IPC, exhaust back pressure tube, all the normal stuff. But anyway, guys, until next time, be nice to everybody. Take care of your neighbors. Be patient. It's hot. As always, be safe and all the way.